Nalin Kohli, why is the BJP so het up every time Rahul Gandhi makes these remarks? Do you believe that he's lying, or do you believe that he's attempting to get national security into the public debate, which you believe should be discussed behind four walls? I mean, the claim he's making is that the Modi government is lying when they say not a single inch of land has been ceded to the Chinese post-Galwan.
Actually, I don't, Rajdeep, agree with either of your assessments. The reason why we are responding is because Mr. Rahul Gandhi, in at least my opinion, has tried to deflect the attention of the nation from the fact that he was taking a vacation on a bike trip, as the media reported, and then he was seen driving on excellent infrastructure in Ladakh, which was not the case in 2012, and which Kiran Rijiju, our minister, quite rightly and effectively put out there in a tweet. He showed the images of 2012, how it used to be a struggle to travel on crumbling infrastructure in Ladakh, versus now Mr. Rahul Gandhi, looking very smart on a mobile, traveling on a beautiful, clean, blacktop road laid out by the Narendra Modi government. And therefore someone in his advice team must have said, Mr. Gandhi, you are on vacation. So
just to respond, the Congress is claiming that this road wasn't built now. Please show us the tender. This road was built. According to them, the roads were as good in 2012. They say BJP is showing one road which was bad, but there were roads which were built even in 2012 in Ladakh, which the Congress claims happened during the UPA time.
Of course, if we have to go by the Congress standard, then everything good in this country ended in 2014 and everything bad started in 2014. But the people of India don't believe so. That's why they gave Narendra Modi ji a clear mandate in 2014 and then again in 2019. So are you saying that people vote for actually having bad infrastructure, not getting food grains free of cost, not getting free bank accounts to 50 crore people, not having India move from the 10th spot to the 5th spot and now moving to the 3rd spot as an economy, etc., etc.? I can go on things after things. So I still hold true that Mr. Gandhi was on a personal trip and he's entitled to be on a personal trip. And then somebody told him, speak on Ladakh. But in pointing one finger in front, he ended up pointing three onto himself. What a beautiful irony. He is in Ladakh, so the first question is, Aksai Chin, 37,000 kilometers lost in the 1962 war by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And he said not a blade of grass grows there. What happened to Demchok? What happened to the demolishing of everything? 250 square kilometers gone. So why is it on China that Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and specifically Mr. Rahul Gandhi and his family, always go soft vis-a-vis India? They will never believe the army. They will go and meet the Chinese ambassador secretly when Doklam is happening. They will question the army that, oh, surgical strikes didn't take place. They will question the Air Force, give us proof for Balakot. So, I mean, why is it that they always do this? I think there is something to be asked of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and the BJP is in its rights to ask these questions to him. Okay. He can't be the only one, like a news anchor starting with a question a day. Some he should answer.
Okay, that's a pot shot at a news anchor. I'll live with it. But Salman Soz, you should respond to Nalin Kohli, because according to the BJP, the Congress must...
1 minute, no.
No.
I've been an anchor myself. Sure. It's not a pot shot. That is your job.
Okay. My job is to ask questions of all, and to you, Salman Soz, is simply this, that when Rahul Gandhi starts raising questions about the Modi government will also raise questions over the Congress's track record when they were in power, when it came to Chinese and border incidents, whether it was in Depsang, whether it was in Demchok. Many of these happened when the UPA was in power. We can even go back to 62, but let's talk of more recent events. And the fact is that these are sensitive issues. How many patrol points are with the Chinese and how many patrol points have India captured are questions that are best decided and discussed behind four doors with the generals, with those who are in the know, is what is being suggested by the BJP. This is not some public debate to be had on national security.
National security, Rajdeep, is an issue of great and grave public importance. So I reject Nalin's contention, or anybody else's, that we should not be discussing issues of national security. We must, because normally it...
But they must be discussed on hard facts. They must be discussed on hard facts, not speculation. National security is too important to be discussing on what you've heard. They need to be discussed on hard facts.
Rajdeep, Under this government, there is no transparency whatsoever. When the Prime Minister says that not an inch of land has been intruded upon, he's clearly misleading the country, and we have to call him out. Now, let me tell you that what Rahul Gandhi said is not something that he's saying of his own volition. He's talking to the people of Ladakh, and what he has found is what he's reporting. And by the way, what is he saying? He's not saying anything new. Let me take you to some media reports from 2020, where nomadic tribes such as the Changpas who live in Ladakh, they come from villages like Demchok and Chumur. What did they say? They said that they have lost access to grazing lands, which were already shrinking since the conflict intensified in 2020. And I'll give you a quote from a person from Ladakh. This is not Rahul Gandhi. This is a Ladakhi. Today, we cannot go to our pasture lands in Domshel. In the past, we traveled beyond the disputed Demchok sector for cattle grazing. As of today, China deprives us of access to grazing land in Domshel and areas such as Kigunar, which are now under Chinese control. This is not Rahul Gandhi saying. These are local people. Now, let me ask you, Rajdeep, is it not true that there was a senior police officer at the Director General's of Police conference? The report was published where it was stated that 26 out of 65 patrolling points in eastern Ladakh, Indian soldiers were not allowed to patrol there. Now, if there is no problem whatsoever, then what are all these rounds of? This is the 19th round of talks is just finished. Why are we talking? What for? By the way, the army chief was quoted.
Okay,
in May 2022. He said that our aim is to restore status quo ante.
Yes, but the point is that many of these disputes do predate 2014. Let me get General Kulkarni in specifically on the grazing lands, which has become such a big issue in and around the lake in Ladakh. Is it true that these grazing lands were earlier accessible to Ladakhi Indian herdsmen and now are not available to them? Is that true, that there are patrolling points that we've lost in the last couple of years that we are not willing to admit to? Is there truth to that, and should the government come clean on that, General Kulkarni?
Thank you, Rajdeep. I will only tell you what I know about it on the ground. First and foremost, as regards the grazing grounds are concerned, they're very much there with us, because as regards the grazing ground is concerned, if they're talking about way back history and they're talking about, then of course we've lost a lot of it before in around 1962 and subsequently. But if they're referring to unnecessarily wanting to target somebody, then it would be incorrect to say that from 2014 onwards that we've lost grazing ground. No, we have not lost grazing ground. Secondly, as regards the grazing ground of reference to Chumur, Demchok, Depsa, definitely no. First and foremost, there aren't many over there. But even in the context of Chumur is concerned, it's definitely no. I've walked over that area even as the Chief of Staff, and I can tell you with certainty, definitely big no. Now, as regards the patrolling points are concerned, now since the LAC is there, the borders are delineated and demarcated, and the perceptions are as what it is, definitely certain patrolling points, the Chinese aren't permitting India to do patrolling. That is why the talks are going on. The talks are on to ensure that the 93, 96, 2000, all subsequent agreements are in place.
But have we lost specific petrol points post-2020? Is that true? Is the government of India being economical with the truth when the Prime Minister says not a single inch of land has been lost?
See, Rajdeep, what happens is, now for instance, let's say, yes, we were patrolling up to finger 8. We aren't patrolling up to finger 8 now. They were also coming up to finger 4. They are not coming to finger 4 either. So at Galwan, similarly, at Hot Spring, Gogar, similarly. So certain points where a bit of buffer zones have been created to ensure that the troops from both sides don't clash and don't get onto boxing bout. It is with that point of view. If you say that, yes, the patrol points are not being patrolled, obviously they are not being gone there because neither are they coming, nor are we going. So there's a gap, say about a kilometer and a half, to ensure that the two troops don't meet so that there's peace and tranquility maintained. Yes, this part of Depsang and Demchok is concerned. Definitely the talks are on only with that purpose, that there are certain patrolling points. We must be allowed to go to those patrol. Not that we can't do, but we don't want to box around and have a brawl over there between the two armies. It is in that context. Right. But to say that we have lost ground, we have lost territory, I think it is best that these things are ongoing. It's as a historical baggage. And since the historical legacy is there, it takes time to ensure that things are resolved. To talk so much in public and to be, showing somebody in poor light, I think that is not what is called for. It is best to keep quiet on these issues,
Salman
and not that we have lost.